I'm having my one.
Hello and welcome to episode 87 of the I'm Having My One podcast. This episode, I'm joined by three wonders of the Tolkien world. The twin pillars of the Argonath, Seb and Rhys are back with us, and old Weathertop himself, Paul, is here too. Hi guys, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
We're all here, we're all back together. So, about a year ago, we bumped into one of the real hype games of 2024, The Lord of the Rings, The Duel for Middle-earth. And over the course of the last few months, we've been talking about it and playing it a bit, and it's got us thinking about how it compares to another game that we have talked about on this podcast and do like quite a lot, the 2015 classic. Can I call it classic? Somewhat a classic.
It's 10 years ago.
10 years, 10 years, yeah. Seven Wonders Duel. And so this episode will be taking a look at exactly that, chatting about the pros and cons of both these games, and ultimately asking, do you need both? Spoiler, maybe. Now, we're coming to this record on the back of our I'm having my one mini tournament for Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. So it is worth, if we have to, getting it out of the way now. Well done for winning, Seb. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Bask in my
Unprecedented.
glory.
No one saw that coming. Not even.
No, I didn't either.
So any thoughts from what gave you your victory, Seb?
Well, it's pure dumb luck, I think, really.
Any good victory can come from that, absolutely.
Well, I can't really put it down to any type of tactic. I just tried to, as they say in the army, keep it simple, stupid. Um,
Yeah, well, you beat Paul to start with, did you?
No,
Got which
me.
are owners. No, beat Reese.
No,
Beat Reese.
Yeah.
me.
very satisfying win, got to say.
Oh man, it
Uh,
was devastating. I mean, I was like going into that final round. I was like, this is easy. I've got this. I've got this. There's no way that Seb can win this. And it just so happened that the very last card that was turned over was just the card that he needed to win, and he managed to clinch it. Gutted. Yeah, well
There
done,
is
mate. Well done.
there is a certain amount of like engineering your position to like increase your odds of winning, and it's
Yeah,
not just
sure.
like
Yeah.
overturning over cards. There's more things that they've added to the game which can help you get to that point, which is good, which is really good.
Yes, I'd argue though in the game that you had, Reese had the odds very much more in his favour. Anyway,
But
go on, go on, go
well,
on.
the thing that Seb did well was he just invested very heavily in the ring track,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
it was just all the time ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
And it's and but this is it. There's so many ways to win this game, and we'll go on to this. So I don't want to steal anyone's thunder, but it was a good enough tactic, and he deserved the victory,
And
definitely.
it worked once and it worked twice because exactly how he beat me in the final game as well.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
He rang you as well.
He rang me. Yeah.
Have you ever played Tekken before and you don't know how to play the game, so you just keep on pressing the same button? So you like kick, 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 and you
Just
just
keep doing
kick
the leg
them out of
sweep.
the ring. Yeah, that's basically what I did in both games.
So for the listener, the full ranking of our little tournament was Seb, as we said, came first, myself in second, Paul in third, and amazingly, considering his recent winning streak, Reese was in last place. Maybe give
Brutal.
his dues, it was slightly by default as he didn't have the time to play another game,
Uh,
but still, will all count.
losing one was bad enough, Tom. Let's
You just couldn't face it.
leave it there.
So we've all
Well,
played.
it was nice after losing to Reese in the final of our Seven Wonders Duel tournament to get my retribution of a default win. So
Default third place. Yeah.
I think what was
God.
more satisfying was that both Rhys and Paul, you both put the table completely opposite of how it ended up. As in, you put me and Tom bottom last, and then
Yeah.
Rhys and Paul top. And actually, we flipped you.
We did,
pretty
we did.
much.
Exactly. I'm still
No
like
one, no one.
basically counting it as a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've played them both now, right? We played Seven Wonders Duel a bit. We've been off the back of these games. We've already got into it a little bit there. What do we like? What do we not like? What are the differences for this game compared to Seven Wonders Duel?
Well, it's Lord of the Rings, so
Right, for one.
that's a positive. I'm saying that's a positive.
Yeah.
If you don't like Lord of the Rings, it's probably not a positive.
Or are you just sort of ending this podcast right there? If you like Lord of the Rings, play this one. If you don't, play the other one.
Sorted.
I mean,
Um,
it's gorgeous as well.
it does look good.
The
It's
artist.
So,
gorgeous.
so my favorite thing of the whole game, of all of the things they've done, is just that ring track, the
Hmm.
chasing the hobbits down or trying to get to Mount Doom, and the way the little sliders work is so clever.
So
Mm.
clever. Yeah, agreed.
But I also really like the fact that it's got little bonuses as you're going along as well. It's another thing
Yeah.
through this is that you time it right with, and these games are so much about timing and the right cards at the right occasions. We'll talk about the fortresses or whatever they're called in a bit perhaps, but timing it so you get the additional move or the bit of money or whatever it is, the extra troop on the map is brilliant as part of that. Let's talk about the map. Big difference. You've got an area control, right?
Yep.
Little mini game going on the side.
Mm.
Yeah. So as
Really
well,
nice.
well as your cards, you've got your map of Middle Earth. Talk us through how that is all working, how that interacts in the game, Rhys.
So you've got your different regions of Middle Earth, and at various points, depending on the cards that you kind of buy, you can either put dudes on the map or you can move dudes on the map. Um, and they've kept it really simple. When I saw
Yeah.
this, I was like, "Whoa, this looks a bit, a little bit complicated for this little mappy thing, to be playing that alongside, uh, you know, basically Seven Wonders Duel." But no, they've kept it really simple. There's no kind of fighting or rolling for fighting or anything complicated like that. If you move one of your guys into an area with someone else's guys, they both die. It's kind of a one for one.
Yeah.
So it's just an area control where you try and get as many troops on there as you can. And if you manage to, one of the win conditions is if you manage to occupy all the different areas in the map, you win the game. And then I think it's the end game kind of win condition. If nobody has managed to reach a win condition,
Yeah.
it's the person who has the most control on the map who ends up winning. So it's a really solid kind of base to kind of be constantly chipping away at that. But just yeah, nice little game. On addition to the kind of area control dudes, you can also get these little towers that can go onto the map as well, and those are more difficult to get on, and obviously at the same time more difficult to come off. They act as presence in one of the areas, so you don't have to have any men there, but the other players' men can move in, and you're not kind of removed from that space. So it's kind of really good to get these towers on. They're quite powerful, difficult to take off, but expensive to get on as well.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of giving you semi-permanent control over those, right? And it's a really good
Mm.
example, that map and what you were saying there, of one of the things that I think is been shows how fantastic this design is, that you've got something added. They've added quite a lot here, but they have simplified as well, right? So there's other parts of the game where they've sort of taken stuff away a little bit from Seven Wonders Duel. And I think that's quite brilliant in what they've done. There's simple stuff like the money that you pay for cards and stuff, right, Paul? Sorry, get from cards.
Yes. Yeah. I think in so many ways they've simplified Seven Wonders Duel for the better. So in original Seven Wonders Duel, if you want to sell a card, it's 2 coins and then you count up how many gold you've got. Whereas on this, if it's the first age, 1 gold, second age, 2 gold, third age, 3 gold.
Mm.
But also the same with buying resources. Again, original Seven Wonders Duel, it's 2 gold, then plus the amount of that resource that the opponent has, and you're kind of working out. Whereas this is just a gold,
Mm.
so it just tidies the game up, I think, and it makes it flow faster.
Are there other
True.
things that we've kind of that they've no, I say we've taken out, they've taken out from the original that just actually can't think of another one. But
So within the military track, there's
yeah,
also victory point scoring. So there's no victory point scoring. So you're not like if you get to the end of the game and there hasn't been a decisive victory, you're not spending all of that time. Oh, well, I've got 4 blue cards, which total, and adding all of that up. It's
yeah,
just have a quick look at the map. Who controls the map? They win.
yeah.
Nice
Yeah, you're
and
right.
nice and simple.
It's almost like somebody's gone, do you know what, guys? I really like Seven Wonders Duel, but I don't like counting.
Maths is not my strong point.
Take all the counting out, and
Yeah.
it'll be a great game. And that's kind of what they've done. They've kind of made it more complex, but they've taken away admin.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm.
So they've made it more interesting, and they've taken away that kind of, oh, what's this? Add this, and well, I mean, it's counting. They've taken away the counting.
They've given us more paths to victory though, haven't they? But
Yeah.
somehow made that more simple,
Have they?
which is
Yes, yeah,
clever
it's 3
genius.
paths. So you've got the ring track, which is the equivalent of the military track. You've got the align the races, which is get the green cards, which is the same as the science.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technology
But then
stuff. Yeah,
you've got the area control.
You had 3 with Seven Wonders Duel, right? You've got
military science and
military science and, well, I guess points.
points, I suppose. Sure,
Point, but
points.
but
You know,
that's the end count up, isn't it?
yeah, it's not like you win the game when you get 100 points or something. Yeah, true. That's yeah,
It does feel
fair
like there's
enough.
more going on. There's more to that game. Maybe it's just newer. I don't know, but newer to me. But it feels like Middle Earth, Duel of Middle Earth, has more going on in the
It
game.
does, and I think it's one thing that you don't really need in Seven Wonders Duel is a reference sheet. And I felt like we needed that in Duel for Middle Earth.
Right.
Just all of the different iconography that was going on. I think you've got to have that reference sheet just to go, oh, what does that do
But
again? And
but
what
I
does this
think
do?
it's just getting used to that iconography, isn't it?
Um, yeah, I guess so, and I guess there is quite a lot of iconography in Seven Wonders Duel, actually, isn't there? Thinking about it,
Yeah, I
I
think there
don't
are
feel as much
just
though.
there's because there's the whole other fortress stuff actually as well that we've got where there's a bit of it's about benefits, right? So in original Seven Wonders Duel, you've got those icons primarily on the science or technology, the green tokens, right? That it's giving you some sort of bonus. Whereas here, those are across the replacement of those different races, the elves, the dwarves, whatever, that you're getting, but also on the fortresses. And the fortresses are a big extra they've added in that I actually really like because in original Seven Wonders, and these are sort of taking the place of the wonders essentially,
Yeah.
right? And the wonders in original Seven Wonders Duel, you would be playing those for the benefit that you'd get from them, points and having another go, and they're a really big part of the game. But one of the things that's really changed with that, which I think I'd really like is that you in original Seven Wonders still had to chuck away a card, so it was taking something away from the cards that are laid out. Maybe talk some more about the cards in a minute.
Yes,
Whereas
yeah.
here they are a delaying tactic that if you can afford it, it just allows you to put that pause in and make the other person have a go in a way
Mm.
that feels, I think, much easier than in Seven Wonders Duel. And what I mean by that is that the cards in front of you don't suit you, or you much prefer someone else to take that one so you can get the next one or have the opportunity to see what's there. Um, it's a great little innovation that, and it's giving you some other benefits as well. These are all, like Minas Tirith and Isengard and places like that that you can pay your resources and you get them, and then those are yours, and they're giving you. They don't actually. I don't think there's any kind of long-term benefit of those for the most part, is there? It's always just you get an instant benefit. You might get like an extra race token from it, but it's about the pause and the instant benefit that you
Yeah.
gain resources or troops or whatever. It's a really great addition, that I think.
Yeah, agreed. From a tactical point of view, definitely it makes it very, very interesting. I guess it's similar to the Seven Wonders card that had the take another go. They
Yeah,
were always really powerful in Seven Wonders Duel because it just meant that you could, exactly like you're saying, you want to see what's behind those next two cards, or you want to take the card below. It gives you the ability to do that. So that, yeah, it's clever, isn't it?
yeah, and I
They've
think
just kind
those
of managed to.
really came in the our game, Seb, because I remember a couple of times trying to delay stuff because I wanted you to have the next turn, and you found some way to be able to afford a fortress yourself, which meant that then I had to end up taking it, so that my options were not exactly as I wanted. Nothing to do with the fact that I made bad decisions and didn't choose enough of the ring tokens, ring cards, um, but was a big part of that. The card play though is that is still basically the same. Is that
Yep.
you've got cards that are laid out in a pattern, and you got your choices. Basically, you take a card, you uh, will spend resources that you've already got. So any cards that you're taking, put in front of you, are added to your civilization, your factions resources, and you've got those to be able to then spend um, reoccurring on whatever is in front of you. If you don't want to do that, you can flip the card and get the money from it, as you were saying earlier, Paul. So nothing has massively changed there. You've still got different suits that kind of do different things or different coloured cards on there. Seb, when you were playing, was there, well, particularly when we played, were you, it seems like almost a dumb question, really, having beaten Rhys that way, were you deliberately kind of going down? Did you have a tactic there that was it, okay, I'm going to take the ring cards? Because you didn't have as many resources as me, right? That you were deliberately taking all of those. Is that a tactic that you were doing as you're going through to
Yeah, I was
play?
just taking every ring card I could.
Everyone you could.
Everyone I could. And when I wasn't, I was taking resource cards, just to being able to afford stuff later on, because that's something that in the game I had with Rhys, which was my first game ever, I didn't keep track of the resource
Yeah, the
cards.
first game I've ever won.
I
Beginner's
wasn't,
luck, right?
yeah, I wasn't completely au fait with how the resource cards worked. So by the time Reese basically had all of them, I had like two or three, and so I then basically just had to take lots of gold at that point to be able to afford the other cards that I wanted to buy.
Mm,
But that kind of tied into another tactic of I managed to get an ability from the wizards, I think, where when I picked up, or it might have been humans, where
Oh
whenever I picked up a
yeah,
gold card, I got to advance another space on the ring track, which dovetailed very nicely into my pursuit of um, of getting to Mount Doom when
of
I was
the
playing
ring.
Reese and when I was
what
chasing the
I think
hobbits as the Nazgul.
exactly the same when you did it to me as well. I think those are. I feel like they're better. The benefits, they can be better. The benefits that you get from those tokens, the science tokens in Seven Wonders Duel, when you turn them over, there are some really powerful. There's an economy one that I swear is broken in that game, where if you get it early enough, you just get all the money that is being spent on resources. But all the rest of them, they're okay. But in Middle Earth version, some of them are those are really or feel really powerful.
I mean, that one's similar to you've got the military token, right? Where every time you play a military card, you get an extra advancement on the
Sure.
military track. I mean, that's similar to the one that Seb's just talking about now.
Mm.
But I mean, all of these little things are what make this game great. And the fact that, even they've got the same thing on the cards with the little symbols that kind of tie into a second or third
Yep.
phase card. That means you can have it for free if you've got that one particular card. And these little kind of nuances throughout the game, I think, just make it really interesting, and they make replayability kind of much better. You can see people just really heavily getting into it and kind of learning, right, I know exactly which cards I want to go for. I know that this one's powerful. I know that that one's powerful. This will give me this in the third phase. Um, we're not, well, I'm certainly not thinking of any of this playing it, but if I played it a lot, that's the kind of thing that I would be thinking. So it's nice that it's got that depth to the game, that is there, kind of, that you don't have to engage with it, but as you play it more, you will engage with it and you'll want
think
to
I
engage with
think
it,
you're absolutely right. Every time I've played it, I've thought I could absolutely play this again. And I've
Mm.
played half a dozen times, something like that. Now I think it's got the puzzle bit that kind of keeps you wanting to come back for more for those sort of reasons, as you say.
Is it better if you had to just have
Right.
one
Is there a
of
place for
these
both? I've got
games?
that down as a question. Is there a place for both of these?
Well, is there a place for both? But if you had to have one, which would
So
it be?
I think there is a place for both. And especially, I mean, at least at the moment, I think like the Pantheon expansions and stuff for Seven Wonders Duel adds a lot of
Right.
extra things to the game, which doesn't Lord of the Rings, at least at the moment, time of recording, does not have. So I think there is a place for both. They play slightly differently, and I think they would engage different audiences. But if I was to have one, it would be Lord of the Rings. I think it just ticks the boxes. And I have to say, I have unsuccessfully tried to teach my wife how to play Seven Wonders Duel.
Mhm.
And I don't know what it is, and maybe it's just the theme that she's more engaged. But we sat down, I gave her a 60-second, this is how you play, and we cracked on, and I lost badly. So well done to my teaching skills.
Yeah, good job. Good job. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think there is a place for both because I think the theming and the slight differences in play style, I think adds to the two different games. But if I was just to pick one, it would be this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. I think Seven Wonders Duel is kind of the slightly more simple game, not overly, but just maybe one or two less rules to kind of get your head round. There's a little bit less going on, if that you can get distracted by. Um, but ultimately, they kind of play in the same time frame,
Yeah.
but you're just having a lot more fun with
Well,
Middle
I
Earth.
think it's the theme is a part that you said, Paul, that maybe the Lord of the Rings theme appealed more to wife than ancient Greece and Phoenicia and places like that. But also what you were saying recently is quite interesting about how much is there, the complexity, even though it's a small box really, but how
Tiny.
much is there in Middle Earth that it looks like it should be more complicated than it
It
is.
does.
Maybe that would put people off, right? And I think that the original Seven Wonders Duel, it is very, very simple. And I think that the bits about Middle Earth that we've been talking about probably do really appeal to us. But uh, I think that's for me why they do both have their place
Yeah.
I,
in
I
that.
think I think Middle Earth, the thing that tips it for me for Middle Earth is that it's more engaging between the players in that I feel like I'm keeping track more of what the other person's doing,
Yeah,
um, because you're interacting with each other on the board rather than with just the Seven Wonders Duel. You're just kind of doing your own thing, and
It's a
then
good
you're like,
point.
oh, all right, here are the victory points at the end, and then yeah, all of a sudden the game's over. Whereas like Middle Earth, you're keeping track of lots of different things. You're keeping an eye on what the other person's doing. You're having to do that all the time because you've got an area control thing, you're getting chased by the Nazgul. Um,
Yeah,
like there's lots of things that you're having to keep track of, and
there's
I find that
tension.
more engaging as a game. Like I prefer that because I don't like games where you feel quite solitary and you're just in your head thinking. It's nice that you're taking part with the other person.
Yep. Yep. I think that's very true. Is there anything
Definitely.
else that's kind of being lost, do you think, from Seven Wonders? What I mean by that, sorry, is that is there anything that from the older game to the newer that you think, or the newer maybe isn't? If we're trying to be, sounds like we're all pretty in favor of it, but if we're trying to be critical of it, is there anything being lost from that original game that you think isn't there in the Middle Earth version?
I mean, literally. I mean, in a very literal sense, you've lost that kind of drafting of the wonders at the beginning. So there's kind of no drafting at the beginning.
Mm.
I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, to be honest. I think it's just
It's just
something slightly different, I suppose.
yeah.
Um, I don't think it's lost anything. I think it's lost maths. It's lost
It's
adding.
well covered maths, yeah,
We've covered
sure.
that. But I no, I think all they've done is kind of simplified in areas. Like we say, have taken some things out, but mostly they've added tension with the ring track and the area control map. Like Seb was saying, you're much more interactive with the player that you're playing with. It's just all good.
And the we've said it already, but the artwork on the Lord of the Rings version is fantastic. And I think we mentioned it several episodes ago. I think talking about the the pandemic, the new Lord of the Rings pandemic game, um, that how we keep coming up with different versions of being able to present the same thing, right? Is that there are how many Lord of the Rings games are there? And again, this is another iteration of showing that the hobbits and Gollum and all the different
It's weird,
people in
isn't it?
different ways.
It's like they know that nerds like Lord of the Rings or something. That's just mind boggles.
The artwork on this, I think, is much better than Fellowship.
Do you? It's very different,
It
isn't
is
it?
very different. I think it's the one thing I'm a little bit critical on Fellowship. I think the game is brilliant, but it's slightly more childishy, cartoony on Fellowship.
Yeah. Yeah, it's slightly big eyes and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, whereas this is maybe like gritty's not the right word, but more, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean, which is always feels quite Lord of the Ringsy anyway. There are some fairly gritty uh uh bits to
Yeah.
the Lord of the Rings novels, aren't there? So yeah. Okay. All right. So we haven't quite done a review here, but it's sort of a review, bit of a comparison review.
Hmm.
But let's go for some scores. So for reference, Paul, all the way back in episode 41, you scored, save you looking it up, scored original Seven Wonders Duel with an 8.5, and I scored it an 8. Where do you stand on Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle Earth?
Well, I think I've made it quite clear. I think it's better game.
Mhm.
Despite what you people say, I still think it's a more simplified game. Um, and I stand by that. And BGG rating of Seven Wonders Duel of 2.23 and Lord of the Rings Duel at 2.06. So, BGG would back me up on this, I would say.
BGG
But I
agrees.
think it's more simplified, and my wife will play it with me, which is great. So,
Yes, wife bonus points.
wife bonus points, WBPs. Um, so I'm going to give it a 9.
Very
Strong.
nice. Very good. Very good. Seb, our winner,
Uh,
podcast winner. What are you going to give it?
Winning bonus points. Also WBPs. It's going to get very confusing.
Yeah.
um, I'd probably give it an 8.5, I think. Really good game. Would love to play it again and would play it more often. It's I think one of the things I really like about it is that it's quite quick. Um, you can have a fill game. You could have like a tournament over a night with a group of friends. Adds an interesting dynamic to an evening, I think,
Mm.
in that it's shorter and it's so engaging. Really good game.
Cool. Nice. Bruce?
So I own this game, and it is gorgeous. I'm going to mention it again because it is amazing. That little ring track, the components for it, they kind of slide nicely together, and it's just. Um, I've played it once. I've played my own copy once. I just can't get anyone to play with me,
No.
guys. It is very sad.
I'll play with you at
Um,
OneCon.
Thanks, Tom. Um, but I think it's definitely a big improvement on Seven Wonders, which is already a fantastic game. So yeah, I'm up there with Paul on this one, and I'm going to give it a 9 as well.
Nice. Okay, cool. It's yeah, it uh, I do really like the original, but I think I'm with you. This is better. This is more that appeals to me on so many levels. Lord of the Rings and the little area control map is things that I particularly love about it. And it looks great. So 8.5 from me as well. So podcast score. It's difficult to say the word podcast as always. Podcast score of 8.75. So definitely up there with some of the best
Big scoring.
ratings that we've given this year. Right, so there you go. Those were our thoughts on Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth and how it compares to Seven Wonders Duel. I think we're pretty much in favour from that on the newer version. So if you like Lord of the Rings and you don't like maths, maybe you'll agree. If you are interested in getting hold of a copy, Chaos Cards will do one for you for £25.95. So have a look at that. They do sponsor this episode, and we very much thank them for that. And maybe get a copy for a friend and use our latest discount code to take you over that £50. You can find those via our website or following us on Instagram or Blue Sky. We'll be back for another episode really soon. Thank you very much for listening. We've been the I'm Having My One podcast. Find more content from us on social media and YouTube. And until next time, enjoy your gaming.
I'm having my one.
Thanks for listening. We've been the I'm Having My One.
Ah, you were doing
That was
so
close.
well.
That was
Nearly
so
the
close.
whole
Just-
episode, Thomas. You even said podcast.
It was brilliant. And I mean, just that synergy with the buying one for your friend and that fact.
I think we need to start again.
Okay.
Just scrap all of this. Let's
From
go
the
again.
start.
Hello and welcome to episode 87.